All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of WFWA Main Event Wrestling. Joe Aiello here, and what a program we have in store for you. Some great action, including today's main event tag team action featuring Champagne Jerry Morrow, the new WFWA heavyweight champion, tagging up with Johnny Smith. This one via Calgary, Alberta. It will be seen for the first time throughout the WFWA Wrestling Network later on this hour. As well, we've got The Natural in a feature match taking on Jason Power. We're going to take a look at a legend from the world of professional wrestling, 63-year-old Gene Kiniski, who came out of retirement for this one big card that took place about a month ago. Canada's greatest athlete, coming up a little bit later on. As well, the Doghouse with Bulldog Bob Brown. You saw what happened last week with Chi Cruz. No word on who the special guest is this week with the Bulldog in the Doghouse. That's coming up a little bit later. We're also going to take a look at a young man that has never appeared here before in the world of professional wrestling. Your first look comes today, a man by the name of Rocky Carnera, plus more details on that big spring tour coming up in the month of April, and a lot more. It's all coming up right after this. Gentlemen, here is your first look at a young man that's going to make a name for himself in professional wrestling. A little green on the outside, but boy, can he move in that ring. Here's a look at Rocky Carnera right here on WFWA Main Event Wrestling. This is both of our first look at this man right here, Rocky Carnera. Pretty good-looking young man from the Ontario region. I can't really specify the city he's from because, I mean, I don't know that much about him, but this should be very interesting. Our first look at Rocky Carnera.
Seems strong enough for the moment.
Well, at least he's getting by so far, and the bell has just rung in this one. And Pompero El Filippo, his opponent, wants him to try it one more time. Long in hair, maybe short on brains, I don't know.
Could be. There's no sense in ever, well, I sure did the right thing with him there.
He broke the hold. Working over that headlock. This man, not too many matches in professional wrestling yet. I don't know what kind of amateur background he has, but he is donning the amateur tights.
Yes, he is. And a couple of moves that he's made. After all the years of seeing somebody, you know if he's got a smidgen of amateur experience right off the bat, which I think he does. The other thing, too, is you notice how they balance themselves on their feet, how they move around. Filippo, how do I pronounce that? Filippo?
That's good enough.
Filippo is moving around a little bit flat-footed, whereas Carnera is not doing that. He's staying on his toes, and that gives you a definite sense of balance at most of the time.
This kid's got a lot of firepower. Nick, how about yourself? Any amateur background in your career for all the fans at home?
Absolutely. I wrestled in both high school and in college. Didn't get to go in college as much as I wanted to, simply because of a couple of the football knee injuries.
And you know, that was something I found very interesting. I had no knowledge of your football background, so you might want to tell the people at home about that as well. That was a total surprise to me. I did not know you were playing football.
Like a million other kids in both the United States and Canada, I was a big high school football hero and got the scholarship to go to college, but college football, is a place where it gets really tough, and not that I didn't do the job right, but just wound up with a couple of bad knee injuries.
And your father, Warren, of course, was a great wrestler in his day, and that led on to yourself, a second-generation superstar, if you will.
Along with the likes of Kurt Hennig, Greg Gagne, the Von Erichs, Jake the Snake is second generation. Rockin' Robin, the girl wrestler, is second generation. Ted DiBiase, second generation. That just goes on. The Guerrero brothers are all second generation.
There's a long list of heredity in the world of professional wrestling. And I don't know from what family that man comes from Pompero El Filippo, but he's obviously
comes from the caveman, yes, the carnivorous family.
I'll tell you one thing, this Rocky Carnera's got his hands full in his debut match here on WFWA Wrestling. And at the moment, not looking too impressive, but he's going to take his licks in the world of professional wrestling, and you know that better than anyone.
True. I've always thought it terribly inappropriate that sportscasters, much like ourselves, when you have a sport, be it football or wrestling or hockey, where there's tremendous physical violence, and sometimes the sportscasters have a tendency to see something on the light side, or, you know, somebody will say, oh, well, he's sure messing up his hairdo. But what about his forehead? What about his nose and, you know, the rest of his face?
Well, exactly, and probably the first thing to go, besides the knees or the elbows, a lot of the joints seem to go first. I mean, you know, there were rumblings for years about Ray the Crippler Stevens with 2 terrible knees, and I mean, you talk about football players with the back problems. I mean, it's amazing that some of these athletes, once they retire, like yourself, you've got a problem with an ankle or a couple of knees, not as bad as some others, but I mean, the wear and tear from night after night of being in that squared circle. I mean, you can take a look at any ring in any promotion, and there's only about ½ an inch of sponge. The rest is steel and plywood.
Well, I mean, many people have a tendency to say, oh, well, you know how to land. When you know how to land, it hurts like hell. When you don't know how to land, it stops that moment, that night, in that match.
And that's why I'm on this side of the table, or this side of the ropes, if you will, and not on that side.
And that's why I'm on this side with you, and not where we saw Gene Kiniski the past couple of weeks. Again, the high-profile move coming off the top rope, something that they've done to make it more exciting and more effective, in this case for Canera.
WFWA wrestling, a sport of tough men, a sport of bad men. There are not a lot of people in the world that can do what we do. So understandably, there's a lot of egos involved here and a lot of people who don't want to admit the importance of the people out there. But I'm telling you something, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I grew up on the mean streets, and with a name like Rocky Carnera, you got to be tough. But I have to admit, when I step between those ropes and I look at my opponent, there is nothing that helps me more than that big tidal wave rush of cheers that comes out behind me. Without those fans out there, I might not be standing here right now. I've been through a lot in my career already, and I haven't been around that long. I plan on going through a lot more with some of the big names we got here. There's people that have been wrestling since before I was born, and getting in the ring with mean guys like that, you got to have every advantage you can. Well, I'm telling you something, I might not be able to match you hold for hold, but I can match you for mean, and once I get the fuel of all the fans behind me, there isn't nothing that's going to stop me from bulldozing my way through every contender in the WFWA. And just for those fans, I'm going to be wearing a big gold strap around here. And it's not just my waist, it's going to be sitting around the waist of every single fan that supports me. I want to thank everybody out there, and I'm telling you, big things are coming from Rocky Carnera, and it's all for you.
The WFWA on tour Friday night, April the 10th, the Weston Community Club, 7:30 start time. Tickets available at the door. Already signed Bulldog Bob Brown, plus many other top stars. On Saturday, April the 11th, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Pine Creek Inn, Notre Dame at McPhillips, Tomahawk, Gene Swan, already signed for the big card at the Pine Creek Inn. On Wednesday, April the 15th, the Long Plain Reserve, 8 o'clock start time. Tickets available at the door. It happens at the Long Plain Arena. Already signed Tomahawk, Gene Swan, The Natural, Stan Saxon, plus many others. On Thursday, April the 16th, Morden, Manitoba, 8 o'clock start time at the Morden Rec Center. For advance tickets, you can call 822-5431. Come out and see Sudden Impact in Morden, Manitoba. On Saturday, April the 18th, a matinee show, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, all part of Bar Wars 1992 at the Pine Creek Inn. Saturday, April the 18th, an evening show, 8 o'clock start time, Dauphin, Manitoba at the DMCC. You can pick up your advance tickets at Black Sporting and Cycle. Call 638-4751. Some of the biggest names in professional wrestling already signed. On Monday, April the 20th, Killarney, Manitoba, the Killarney Collegiate South Gym. Tickets available at KC Pizza. You can call 523-8207. All the action getting underway at 8 o'clock. Already signed Bulldog Bob Brown, Champagne Jerry Morrow, plus many other top stars. On Tuesday, April the 21st, Melita, Manitoba at the Melita Arena. Tickets available at Delmar Pro Hardware. you can see some of the top names in professional wrestling. Chi Cruz, The Natural, Brian Jewell, plus many other top stars. April the 21st, Melita, Manitoba. On April the 22nd, Beausejour, Manitoba, the Broken Head River Rec Complex. Tickets available at Crosstown Convenience Store, 268-4177, or at Bergey's, you can call 268-1475. Some of the top talent in the game today already booked for Beausejour. On Thursday, April the 23rd, Steinbach, Manitoba, Friedensfield Community Club, 8 o'clock start time. Tickets at Image Gallery. You can call 326-4247. Chi Cruz, The Natural, Tomahawk, Gene Swan, Bulldog, Bob Brown, Champagne, Jerry Morrow, and Sudden Impact already booked the 23rd in Steinbach. Friday, April the 24th, the Dakota Community Club. Tickets available at the door. 7:30 start time. Stan Saxon, Tomahawk, Gene Swan, Bulldog, Bob Brown, plus many others. The Dakota Community Club, Friday, April the 24th. And Saturday, April the 25th, tentative booking already made for Lac du Bonnie, Manitoba. Get your tickets early. The spring tour of the WFWA right here in Manitoba. All right, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget about that big tour coming up throughout the month of April. Already signed some of the biggest names in professional wrestling, including the WFWA Heavyweight Champion, Champagne Jerry Morrow, already booked for some of those big dates. How about Sudden Impact, Chris Jericho and Lance Storm? What an exciting young tag team. They will be here and seen here on television in weeks to come as well. We've got the former WFWA Heavyweight Champion, The Natural. He's already booked for that big tour, and we've got him here in today's feature match from Charlotte, North Carolina. He's tangling up with Jason Power. Singles action right here on WFWA Main Event Wrestling. An elbow smash now by The Natural, who's turning things around. Took him a while, but he's starting to pick up his pace, Larry.
I'm surprised at this, Joe. I really am. I didn't expect this. Clear domination by Power up till now, and The Natural, using all his wares.
You're absolutely right. He's going up top, up the elevator. Is he going to the top floor? Yet to see here. He might be taking too long, though.
I don't think he should wait that long.
He only got up to the second rope. Double axe handle to the back. But, Larry, you're absolutely right. In some matches, you see total domination. Some matches, of course, you see a total even match right from the opening bell. And in this one, it's been a topsy-turvy affair.
Definitely
Jason Power off the top, and now The Natural.
Teeter-totter, seesaw, whatever metaphors you want to use, JoJo. We see that happening now. I'm surprised Power's domination early is now given way to the temporary, at least, domination by The Natural. And he looks like he's hurting him. He looks hurt.
He looks like he's choking him, and he grabs a handful of hair and right back down to the mat.
Holy hairspray. I guess he did that, Joe.
Want to send out a big hello to all the shut-ins across Canada joining us from coast to coast on the WFWA Wrestling Network. A lot of them can't get out to the matches, but I know they're joining us wherever you may be. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for being with us here on WFWA Main Event Wrestling. And please keep those cards and letters coming in. We always love to hear from the fans. Who would you like to see on the program? You know, if you'd like to see the stars of the WFWA, let us know.
Always great to hear from viewers, Joe.
Oh, short, small pockets.
A turnaround.
Kick out. The Natural almost lost this one with his new valet, Miss Kitty Carson, in his corner. He throws Jason Power right outside the ring. Power could have been hurt on that one.
You know, if I was the Natch, I'd try to capitalize on that, because you're giving Power a chance to recuperate here.
Now The Natural, he's going up top he's going to jump on Power from outside. Holy cow, Larry.
Oh, no.
Bang, wow. You could hear that land. Double axe handle to the back of the skull. And Power is down on the ring floor again.
This has really surprised me, Joe. I did not expect this kind of turnaround. Initially, with the new valet, I suspect the Natural had given way to appearance instead of wrestling technique. More concerned with hairspray, but look at him now.
Going for the pin. 1, 2. It might have him. Only a 2 count. Power's got that little bit left. You heard our ring announcer. We're at 10 minutes, scheduled for 21 fall affair. The Natural and Power. Jason turning this one around. Big back.
Oh, he lands hard.
Elbow. Kapow. 1, 2. He might have him. Only. That had to have been.
I thought 2 of his ribs went right through the mat.
2.5 on that one. Whip coming again. Power on fire. Holy cow.
Oh, and the Natural.
Nailed him with the knees. Got the foot up on the ropes. Only a 2 count. Natural had that rope on, or foot on the rope for some added leverage.
You had this peg, Joe. It's a seesaw battle all the way.
Yet to hear much from Miss Kitty Carson. However, I'm sure we'll hear from her later on in the program.
She's shouting encouragement to the Natural, and he seems to be comforted by her presence at ringside, although, as you say, we don't know what her contribution is, Joe.
Not just yet. Not too much known about Miss Kitty Carson, but I'm sure we'll find out more in weeks to come here on WFWA Main Event Wrestling. The Natural.
She certainly knows how to use a curling iron, I'll give her that.
The Natural, the nice-looking chin lock on now, sizing down Jason Power. Handful of hair, whip off the rope, stuck under Power. Using the ropes for a little leverage. And Natural rebounds off, but look at him thinking, getting a little cocky. Power still at clothesline.
Oh, right out of the ring, my goodness.
And the Natural doesn't know whether he's coming or going, and I'll tell you right now, this ride didn't cost him 4 coupons.
Certainly didn't. Cancel my pass to the X, Joe. I've seen it all.
Jason Power and the Natural. Seesaw battle in this one. The Natural picking him up. Good-looking slam there. Power off the rope for a little leverage. Oh, just enough time for the Natural.
Hard on the knee there.
He might have him here. Only a 2 count, though. Going to take a little bit more than that to pin Power. And Kitty Carson all over the referee, giving him a hassle or two. A heel throw there.
The Natural proclaims his victory prematurely, I suspect.
And this could be it. One of his favorite finishing maneuvers up top. Sets himself up. He's got his balance. Oh, Power out of the waist. Could be some cartilage damage to that right knee.
Holy Bobby Orr. I think there's knee damage there, Joe. Oh, my goodness.
What a hangman, I guess.
Call me a giraffe. There goes the neck.
A back body drop there. You can't help but laughing with a man like this. Oh, Kitty Carson up on the ring apron. Power's got him, set him up for that big power slam. He got him.
Oh, my goodness.
That's it. It's all over for the Natural in this one. Where's the referee's talking it out with Miss Kitty Carson? You could have counted up to 10, Larry.
I know that, Joe. This is the kind of...
Holy, Larry starting to catch off.
Oh, no.
The Natural nailed him with the knee to the small of the back. He's got him by the trunks.
No, this can't be. Oh.
The Natural had him by the trunks. Miss Kitty Carson played the part of the decoy, and that's the role she's going to play, Larry. Your winner, the Natural. The WFWA on tour Friday night, April the 10th, the Weston Community Club, 7:30 start time. Tickets available at the door. Already signed Bulldog Bob Brown, plus many other top stars. On Saturday, April the 11th, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Pine Creek Inn, Notre Dame at McPhillips, Tomahawk, Gene Swan, already signed for the big card at the Pine Creek Inn. On Wednesday, April the 15th, the Long Plain Reserve, 8 o'clock start time. Tickets available at the door. It happens at the Long Plain Arena. Already signed Tomahawk, Gene Swan, The Natural, Stan Saxon, plus many others. On Thursday, April the 16th, Morden, Manitoba, 8 o'clock start time at the Morden Rec Center. For advance tickets, you can call 822-5431. Come out and see Sudden Impact in Morden, Manitoba on Saturday, April the 18th. A matinee show, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, all part of Bar Wars 1992 at the Pine Creek Inn. Saturday, April the 18th, an evening show, 8 o'clock start time, Dauphin, Manitoba at the DMCC. You can pick up your advance tickets at Black Sporting and Cycle. Call 638-4751. Some of the biggest names in professional wrestling already signed. On Monday, April the 20th, Killarney, Manitoba, the Killarney Collegiate South Gym. Tickets available at KC Pizza. You can call 523-8207. All the action getting underway at 8 o'clock. Already signed Bulldog Bob Brown, Champagne Jerry Morrow, plus many other top stars. On Tuesday, April the 21st, Melita, Manitoba at the Melita Arena. Tickets available at Delmar Pro Hardware. You can see some of the top names in professional wrestling. Chi-Chi Cruz, The Natural, Brian Jewell, plus many other top stars. April the 21st, Melita, Manitoba. On April the 22nd, Beausejour, Manitoba, the Broken Head River Rec Complex. Tickets available at Crosstown Convenience Store, 268-4177, or at Bergey's, you can call 268-1475. Some of the top talent in the game today already booked for Beausejour. On Thursday, April the 23rd, Steinbach, Manitoba, Friedensfield Community Club, 8 o'clock start time. Tickets at Image Gallery. You can call 326-4247. Chi-Chi Cruz, The Natural, Tomahawk Gene Swan, Bulldog Bob Brown, Champagne Jerry Morrow, and Sudden Impact already booked the 23rd in Steinbach. Friday, April the 24th, the Dakota Community Club. Tickets available at the door. 7:30 start time. Stan Saxon, Tomahawk Gene Swan, Bulldog Bob Brown, plus many others. The Dakota Community Club, Friday, April the 24th. And Saturday, April the 25th, tentative booking already made for Lac du Bonnie, Manitoba. Get your tickets early. The spring tour of the WFWA right here in Manitoba. All right, ladies and gentlemen, always controversial and never short on words. You're talking about one of the most sadistic men in professional wrestling. He weighs in at 250 pounds from Kansas City, Missouri. In this case, he's not donning the tights or the wrestling boots, but the suit and the tie. I'm talking about Bulldog Bob Brown. Let's take you to the doghouse.
Welcome to the doghouse. This is Bulldog Bob Brown. Hey, I'm relaxed today. I'm having a good time. Anybody can have a good time as long as you're not sitting next to Joella. Well, let me tell you something. A lot of big news. Ladies and gentlemen, wrestling fans, I don't have a guest appearing with me today. I don't know why, but you know, I guarantee you, I sooner do it by myself because you know, when I'm here, I'm giving you the truth at all times. One thing the Bulldog don't do is laugh, but I've been laughing all day and I can't stop, and I wonder why you people out there want to know why I'm laughing. I can't stop because I've been laughing now for 2 or 3 hours waiting to go on this program, and the more I laugh, hey, the funnier it gets. You know why? Because a local hero, one of your top stars in the WFWA, has hung his boots up out to dry. And you know the reason I think he hung them up? Because the competition got too stiff. When you got the Bulldog, you got the Natural, you got Saxon. Hey, the heat is on. And I can't help.
A second, Mr. Brown. Right now, you do have a guest, which is me, myself, and himself, like always.
Well, excuse me.
I'm sitting here listening to you yapping and bragging about and whatever keeps going on and on and on and on and on. Let me tell you something, Mr. Brown. As a promoter, I'm really fed up with the way you wrestle, the way you treat people, and the way you damage some of the wrestler, ambush them right from behind. Well, let me tell you something else, Mr. Brown, and make sure you put this in your little green book if you do have as a note. Okay, fine and dandy. One of the wrestlers did quit. Well, sometime that happens. And the only time that happens when we have big competition in WFWA. I can see that. But that's not the reason. That's not what I'm here to talk about.
Well, let's get to the point.
And don't you point your finger at me, Mr. Brown. Let me tell you, I can point my finger at you, and if you're not careful enough, maybe I'm going to point 2 fingers at you. And you know where they're aiming at? Right straight in your eyes. And let me tell you one thing, again, Mr. Brown. Last week's show, I witnessed a very nice gentleman, one of the top wrestlers in WFWA, Chi Cruz. And I cannot see any reason for you to grab his hair and bang his head right in this table right here. There's no excuse whatsoever. Well, there's an excuse on your behalf because that's the type of man you are, the type of wrestler you really are. You cannot go in the ring and have a straightforward match.
Hold it now, just 1 minute. This is my show. I don't want an outburst from you or anybody else. This is my show, and you better conduct yourself properly.
This could be your show, Mr. Brown, but let me tell you another thing, and put in your little green book again. Whatever goes on this show, it will be signed by me and only me. But Mr. Chi Cruz came to my office, and do you know what he asked for? There's a big tour in April, says Tony Condello. Yes, there is. It starts on the April 15 and on. The only wish that he wants from me, he wants to be booked against Mr. Bulldog Bob Brown. Doesn't matter where we are in Manitoba or across Canada. And he stated he doesn't think that you will be able to finish the tour because he'll demolish you the first night. Simple as that. He already signed the contract, and you, Mr. Brown, you do have a signed contract with WFWA Promotion, and it's an open contract. And that from this moment on, you are booked all the month of April for Mr. Chi Cruz, and that's final.
Well, just a minute here. Before you leave, I'll guarantee you one thing. Nobody comes in here and talks to me like this. And as far as Chi Cruz is concerned, I'll guarantee you one thing, Chi Cruz. What happened here last week, it will be just the beginning. Now, my attorneys haven't finished signing the contract yet, so I really don't know if I'm wrestling you or not. But I'll guarantee you one thing, Mr. Chi Cruz. You came on this show like Tony Condello, ordering me to do things. Well, nobody orders me. And if I have to wrestle you, which I don't want to because I don't want to be responsible for what happened to you. Now, you got a mother and dad that you should be looking after. I'll guarantee you, you will get hurt if you ever tangle with me.
The WFWA on tour Friday night, April the 10th, the Weston Community Club, 7:30 start time. Tickets available at the door. Already signed, Bulldog Bob Brown, plus many other top stars. On Saturday, April the 11th, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Pine Creek Inn, Notre Dame at McPhillips, Tomahawk, Gene Swan, already signed for the big card at the Pine Creek Inn. On Wednesday, April the 15th, the Long Plain Reserve, 8 o'clock start time. Tickets available at the door. It happens at the Long Plain Arena. Already signed, Tomahawk, Gene Swan, The Natural, Stan Saxon, plus many others. On Thursday, April the 16th, Morden, Manitoba, 8 o'clock start time at the Morden Rec Center. For advance tickets, you can call 822-5431. Come out and see Sudden Impact in Morden, Manitoba. On Saturday, April the 18th, a matinee show, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, all part of Bar Wars 1992 at the Pine Creek Inn. Saturday, April the 18th, an evening show, 8 o'clock start time, Dauphin, Manitoba at the DMCC. You can pick up your advance tickets at Black Sporting and Cycle. Call 638-4751. Some of the biggest names in professional wrestling already signed. On Monday, April the 20th, Killarney, Manitoba, the Killarney Collegiate South Gym. Tickets available at KC Pizza. You can call 523-8207. All the action getting underway at 8 o'clock. Already signed, Bulldog Bob Brown, Champagne Jerry Morrow, plus many other top stars. On Tuesday, April the 21st, Melita, Manitoba at the Melita Arena. Tickets available at Delmar Pro Hardware. You can see some of the top names in professional wrestling. Chi Cruz, The Natural, Brian Jewell, plus many other top stars. April the 21st, Melita, Manitoba. On April the 22nd, Beausejour, Manitoba, the Broken Head River Rec Complex. Tickets available at Crosstown Convenience Store, 268-4177, or at Bergey's, you can call 1475. Some of the top talent in the game today already booked for Beausejour on Thursday, April the 23rd, Steinbach, Manitoba. Friedensfield Community Club, 8 o'clock start time. Tickets at Image Gallery. You can call 326-4247. Chi-Chi Cruz, The Natural, Tomahawk, Gene Swan, Bulldog, Bob Brown, Champagne, Jerry Morrow, and Sudden Impact already booked the 23rd in Steinbach. Friday, April the 24th, the Dakota Community Club. Tickets available at the door. 7:30 start time. Stan Saxon, Tomahawk, Gene Swan, Bulldog, Bob Brown, plus many others. The Dakota Community Club, Friday, April the 24th. And Saturday, April the 25th, tentative booking already made for Lac du Bonnie, Manitoba. Get your tickets early. The spring tour of the WFWA right here in Manitoba. And don't forget, still to come, today's main event. It will feature tag team action when Champagne Jerry Morrow and Johnny Smith tangle with none other than strongman Steve DeSalvo and Ron Ritchie. This match took place a couple of months ago in Calgary, Alberta. Never seen before on the WFWA Wrestling Network. That's coming up later on today's main event. Right now, though, we want to take a look at a man that's been away from the wrestling game for a couple of years, coming out of retirement. The legend of professional wrestling, Canada's greatest athlete. Here he is, singles action, featuring Gene Kaniski. Well, that is then a form of the figure four leg log, if you will, by almost the same pressure points applied to the arm and the leg.
Very, very much so.
But this Bob Bryan has a tender right arm now as Kaniski locks up with a collared elbow hookup, and actually Bryan surprising me here with the advantage.
Well, this is a hold that sometimes becomes a sacrificial hold. A lot of times you can suck a man into taking a headlock on you, and you'll find out what he knows what to do with you or not. And again, we're seeing moves that we haven't seen. There's a form of the crucifixion that comes from amateur wrestling. He's got one leg tied, and you say crucifixion because it's the cross, and it's a diagonal cross here where he's got the half Nelson, so to speak, on the other arm. Now he's let that go, and now he's just got an eagle spread, hoping to get both guys' shoulders down.
Well, I'll tell you what, a perfect maneuver for a man that a lot of people think probably never read the Bible, but might have been in it. A lot of people, Gene will never tell you how old he is, but he's got that attitude of a 25-year-old, and you know what? This has got to be one of the first times, Nick, I've seen a wrestler of that caliber go in there and look like he's just having fun, but yet focused. You know, he's not taking his opponent lightly.
No, he's
but
not.
Gene looks like he's having fun.
Well, he's enjoying himself.
Kaniski hasn't changed one bit, Nick. We were talking about that earlier. And like you said, this is definitely no beauty contest. Taking a look at that mug. But how does a man like Kaniski come back after a couple of years, Nick, and stay that conditioned and fine-tuned? I mean, wouldn't you have a little bit of ring rust after a couple of years?
Yeah, you would, but then we don't know to what extent that Gene's been getting into the ring out in Vancouver area where he lives. It is very possible that he may be down there training and still working out, which prevents that ring rust. But at the same time, one of the things I know that he does, and Gene, needless to say, we can see he's not one of the big power weightlifter types, so he doesn't have the big bulging, bulking muscles, but he's just a natural big man. And over the years, the natural big men have been far stronger, pound for pound, than, so to speak, the guy that was steel trained or lifting the weights to get that size.
Well, you know, and that's the thing. Like, I've been watching this match, and there's a lot of maneuvers that I'm not frequented with anymore in the world of professional wrestling, because sure, the world of wrestling has changed a little bit in its style. You see a lot more power maneuvering now than you might have years ago. But a guy like Kaniski is bringing it all back to a lot of the great fans across the country.
Yes,
and if that's the kind of action you like, you know, no gimmicks, just basic, down-to-earth, old-fashioned wrestling, this is where you're going to see it.
Well, Gene himself was, I guess you might say, some sort of a gimmick, just being the natural personality that he was. When they say the line roars, He always roared. I'm telling you legitimately, if you sit and have a conversation with him, you don't know whether he's yelling on a construction job or he's just tremendously overenthused about what the hell's going on.
Well, you can guarantee one thing. He's enthused about what's going on in the squared circle. I've never seen a man at this caliber, like I said earlier, look like he's having that much fun. And in this case, it's been all Kiniski. Of course, you know, his two sons later on went to the world of wrestling, and we're talking about Nick and Kelly, Kiniski Kelly being the eldest, I believe.
Absolutely.
And actually, I don't think either one of them, I don't know, I could be wrong here, are either one of them wrestling still?
No, I think Nick is still wrestling amateur, trying to help out with the Canadian team as far as the Olympics go and training those people. And then, of course, Kelly, he dropped out of wrestling, I'd say 2 or 3 years ago.
And both actually are running separate businesses in that Vancouver area, as far as I've heard from Father Gene, who you're looking at right now. And Kiniski whipping him off, big size 16 there to the midsection. And Kiniski, so methodical. There's that karate thrust. I was wondering, Kiniski used to use that thumb to that throat. Well, today he's giving us that karate thrust and another one there. And he's been all over his opponent here tonight.
In the first match when we saw him last week, he seemed a little anxious. He seemed a little, I wouldn't want to say rushing, but he was setting more of a tempo. I think he feels more settled a week later. Don't know how long he plans on carrying this on, but while it's taking place, as you said, there we go with a nice backbreaker that Gene always puts out, and that is that he, as you said, he's more focused, more intense.
And you know what? It's one of the most devastating backbreakers I've seen.
There's some of you wrestlers that are making disparaging remarks about me. Fine, talk is very, very cheap, but let's step in the ring and do it the right way. There will be a lot of fans to witness it. There's a fellow Canadian who's been looking for me. He's been using a lot of adjectives to describe my manner, my personality, etc. But I'm not interested in the verbal conflict. I am a professional wrestler. Let's settle in the ring where it should be settled. That's what the fans want. That's what I want. So, if you have a certain individual you'd like to see me wrestle, write the promotion, phone in, and I'm sure I can accommodate anybody that they can muster up who feels they can stay with Gene Kiniski, Canada's greatest athlete.
The WFWA on tour Friday night, April the 10th, the Weston Community Club, 7:30 start time. Tickets available at the door. Already signed Bulldog Bob Brown, plus many other top stars. On Saturday, April the 11th, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Pine Creek Inn, Notre Dame at McPhillips, Tomahawk, Gene Swan, already signed for the big card at the Pine Creek Inn. On Wednesday, April the 15th, the Long Plain Reserve, 8 o'clock start time. Tickets available at the door. It happens at the Long Plain Arena. Already signed Tomahawk, Gene Swan, The Natural, Stan Saxon, plus many others. On Thursday, April the 16th, Morden, Manitoba, 8 o'clock start time at the Morden Rec Center. For advance tickets, you can call 822-5431. Come out and see Sudden Impact in Morden, Manitoba. On Saturday, April the 18th, a matinee show, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, all part of Bar Wars 1992 at the Pine Creek Inn. Saturday, April the 18th, an evening show, 8 o'clock start time, Dauphin, Manitoba at the DMCC. You can pick up your advance tickets at Black Sporting and Cycle. Call 638-4751. Some of the biggest names in professional wrestling already signed. On Monday, April the 20th, Killarney, Manitoba, the Killarney Collegiate South Gym. Tickets available at KC Pizza. You can call 523-8207. All the action getting underway at 8 o'clock. Already signed Bulldog Bob Brown, Champagne Jerry Morrow, plus many other top stars. On Tuesday, April the 21st, Melita, Manitoba at the Melita Arena. Tickets available at Delmar Pro Hardware. You can see some of the top names in professional wrestling. Chi Cruz, The Natural, Brian Jewell, plus many other top stars. April the 21st, Melita, Manitoba. On April the 22nd, Beausejour, Manitoba, the Broken Head River Rec Complex. Tickets available at Crosstown Convenience Store, 268 4177, or at Bergie's, you can call 268-1475. Some of the top talent in the game today already booked for Beausejour on Thursday, April the 23rd, Steinbach, Manitoba. Friedensfield Community Club, 8 o'clock start time. Tickets at Image Gallery. You can call 326-4247. Chi-Chi Cruz, The Natural, Tomahawk, Gene Swan, Bulldog, Bob Brown, Champagne, Jerry Morrow, and Sudden Impact already booked the 23rd in Steinbach. Friday, April the 24th, the Dakota Community Club. Tickets available at the door. 7:30 start time. Stan Saxon, Tomahawk, Gene Swan, Bulldog, Bob Brown, plus many others. The Dakota Community Club, Friday, April the 24th. And Saturday, April the 25th, tentative booking already made for Lac de Bonnie, Manitoba. Get your tickets early. The spring tour of the WFWA right here in Manitoba. All right, wrestling fans, it's been a long time coming, but you are going to see one of the greatest tag team matches ever witnessed in the world of professional wrestling. It's today's main event. On one side of the ring, you've got strongman Steve DeSalvo, one of the most powerful men in professional wrestling, and his tag team partner, the ever-popular, a good friend of mine. I'm talking about Winnipeg's own Ron Ritchie. Their opponents, on the other hand, you've got the WFWA Heavyweight Champion, Champagne Jerry Morrow, tagging up with the British Bruiser, now living in England. I'm talking about Johnny Smith. And I can guarantee you one thing, folks, that promoter Tony Condello has already signed for some of those dates the WFWA Heavyweight Champion, Jerry Morrow, and he is still talking to the British Bruiser, Johnny Smith. We shall wait and see what happens. Right now, let's get you up to the ring via Calgary, Alberta. It's on the WFWA Wrestling Network, and it's today's main event.
Whoa! That back again. Ritchie knocks Smith. Have he got him? Whoa! Oh, that was so close. I thought Ritchie had him. Johnny Smith and Jerry Morrow against Steve DeSalvo and Ron Ritchie. That's the lineup.
For one moment, it's not an important match. Every one of those guys, all four guys, knows the winner of this match. I'm sure as God is my witness that there'll be a title shot against the Bowlers. Now, what a nightmare that would be. Can you imagine the winner of this against the Bowlers?
I'd like to see it, regardless of which team wins this bout. Ritchie in some difficulty now. And you know and I know, Michael, from watching him for some time, that somewhere along the way, Ritchie is going to blow a gasket, and the fight is going to turn.
And Mount Vesuvius will erupt.
Now, Johnny Smith will look over the match for 10 or 12 minutes, but just keep an eye on Johnny Smith. You know, he's like a bulldog. He's like myself, a tenacious one. Don't stop until you complete the job. And this is what they're doing now. They got Ritchie in big trouble. And if Ritchie don't get out of this and make a tag to DeSalvo, this match will be over, gentlemen.
Yeah, but there's a choke going on here.
It's a choke. Place is in an uproar. There is no tag.
What was that clap on?
No tag.
Over the top rope.
He threw him over top.
What about that? Is that disqualification?
That's a disqualification, but the referee didn't see it.
Then he can't call it. Don't blame the referee. The referee only calls what he sees.
DeSalvo is enraged with the referee. Look at this.
got respect for me. They don't like you because you don't call them as you see them.
Watch this.
Smith
Boston
getting a bit
Crab.
to the Boston Crab right on. But it's not quite there.
Richie just hanging on now.
But you know Richie. The guy's are never a quitter, and Ed, you saw him in the last 3 or 4 years. You know, he just don't give up.
But where's the referee? He had him there for about an 8 count.
Yeah.
No referee. Putnam is having trouble controlling this one. I'm not sure there is any official that handle these 4 guys in a tag team battle.
Johnny Smith feeling awfully brave as he was taking on and taunting DeSalvo.
Why don't Steve DeSalvo get out of the ring? He never tagged. He's the illegal. The referee should disqualify him, gentlemen.
What was Smith doing over there?
Smith is in the corner hanging onto the rope.
Well, you're seeing what the referee sees. That's the problem.
One, two.
Whoa.
Almost hit the deck, didn't he? Almost hit the canvas for the 3 count. Whoa. Oh, my.
Now, if DeSalvo would have stayed out of the ring, they would have saw Johnny Smith didn't make the tag. But you've got to do these things, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, well, hey, to go out and win a big match like this, you got to cut corners. And they do it at football. Sometimes they see an offside, like in hockey. The referee don't see it. You've got to do it. And if anybody knows it in wrestling, Ed Whalen, you do.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am sorry we had to cut that match short, but you saw the high-five signal from Johnny Smith to Champagne Jerry Morrow. It meant a little bit more than that. It meant a tag into Morrow. It meant Morrow climbing up to the top rope. It meant Morrow jumping from the top rope onto the throat of Ron Ritchie. And the rest is history, ladies and gentlemen. It was one of the most vicious scenes ever in the world of professional wrestling. We could not show you the extreme violence that took place in that match. What a great week we've had for you. We've got more great action coming up 7 days from now. Don't forget about that big spring tour coming up in the month of April with some of the biggest names in professional wrestling. For the Bulldog in the Doghouse, I'm Joe Aiello. We'll see you 7 days from now.